Hello guys, this video is about energy consumption and efficiency, and as you can see, for now almost nothing is running on this computer comparing to usual, and it consumes 157 watts, about this, about 150 watts. So as I'm speaking, it started to consume 230 watts. So I don't know what's happening inside, but sometimes it may consume more. So what I want to test now is whether it is better to render in Daz 3D one GPU, two GPUs, or which GPU is better. I think it is obvious answer which is better, but I will after this calculate their energy efficiency. So please watch the video to the end and you will see the results. So first of all, to run Daz 3D with 5090, I had to download the Daz Studio 2025 Alpha version. So it is fine, it supports 5090, and now I can compare. Daz 3D is opened, and also I've opened my test project, that is test room, and it is just some kind of room with a light, HDRI, and something like, standard thing, just to render the environment. And now I have hardware settings like this, so I am switching on 3090, 5090, etc. And but I will start from the basic consumption. So you see, after I've started the Daz 3D, my computer consumes just about the same power. That is good. So nothing is changed. So we can, I think, count on the wattage that 150 is like base wattage. So let's go further, and I will then deduct the base power from the power that we will see during the rendering. So first settings will be 3090 solar without 5090 and full HD quality. It's current frame, new window, okay, and render. GPU 1, that is 5090, doesn't work. GPU 2 works. So everything is fine. It is all as expected. Okay, let's say 4 minutes 21 seconds. Unfortunately, it doesn't save the final minutes, but it's fine. Now 4K. While it is rendering, I will explain you more figures from my dashboard. So this is the memory temperature for both GPUs. So 3090 now is 82 degrees, and it is water cooling, of course, and 5090 is 46 degrees. And I don't believe that this is the temperature of the chip. I think I have some problems with these sensors for both GPUs, I think. Also, this is their water temperature. So it is 32 now. So 32 is trying to cool down this 82, and it obviously fails. But it's not above 85 at least. So 4K render is over. I've seen that it is about 16 minutes. I will tell you later what was the exact result. Now let's get back to Full HD and change the hardware to 5090. Let's go. See, 5090 is working now and 3090 doesn't. Now 5090 is over, and unfortunately I don't have my afterburner working. Afterburner, yeah, I think so. This MSI application that logs all the temperatures, power, and etc. etc. Unfortunately, I can start it after I installed 5090. If I could, I would have the log from it, and I would tell you the average wattage for every render and for everything. But unfortunately, I don't have it. So what I have is my eyes, and I've calculated the. Now let's start 4K rendering for 5090, and as I see it, the average consumption of 3090, when 3090 works, I mean the whole system consumption, is 525 watts average. And when 5090 is working, it is about 565 watts. So not so different, in fact. That's it for 5090 4K. And next step, both GPUs are used, and we will start again from Full HD. Let's go. Now 4K. Okay, all the tests are finished. You can see my cooling liquid is 36 degrees. I haven't set the fans to work on the maximum at this temperature. I think if I did, the temperature could be lower, but I don't want so much noise for so little trouble. And we can see that base power draw is coming to 150, I think. Yeah, it looks like this, and everything will be cooling down. So let's move to the calculations. So now let's see what were the results of my tests. So first of all, I've recorded my feeling of average watts per hour, and it was 525 for 3090, 565 for 5090, and it is total consumption of the computer, and 930 for both GPUs working together. And I've calculated two things, watts per second only for GPUs and watts per second for the whole computer. And as you can see, I've deducted 150 from the watts per hour for the whole computer, and I've got this watts per second consumption. And you can see that it summed up perfectly. So I don't think I've made a big mistake with these watts per hour that I thought were average, that I just, I thought that it was right. So I hope you can see now that I may be right with them. And watts per hour, watts per second here were for the whole computer. So next thing, I of course transferred here total seconds spent. So I've used, for example, like here 4 minutes, 4 multiplied by 60 plus 21, and etc, and everything I've calculated like this. Yeah, and then I've multiplied the sum for sum total, the total spent second and watts per second, for example, in this case. So this was the product of multiplying these cells and all other cells. And for GPU, of course, I used also total seconds spent and watts per second GPU only. And you can see that the least effective, as I see it, because one task, one consumption. So you see RTX 3090 had a higher consumption than 5090 for the same task. So it is already ineffective. It looks ineffective here. So and by how much it is not effective? So we see that it is 4 times slower than both cards together, and maybe two times slower than 5090. It was like this if we see it in the seconds. So as I see, I have a dilemma like this, and you may have too, that you may use 5090 and have the best power consumption per task, no matter the whole computer you use or GPU only you use. But you may have also the fastest time if you use both GPUs. So what would you choose? It's up to you. But you can see here that 5090 Solo is 40% slower than both cards together. But also, both cards together consume only 15%, about 15% more than one card. So if you need something to be made as fast as possible, and you don't care about 15% of power consumption, then use both cards like this. If you care about power consumption more than about speed, then use 5090 only. In my case, I've chosen like this. So I would use, or I will use, and I am using already 3090 as my monitor card, so it shows me the image to my monitor. 5090 only works as a rendering card, and while 5090 is rendering efficiently and pretty fast, in fact much faster than 3090, of course, I can work with my 3090 with light projects, like light, I mean not heavy, and I can work with something like video rendering, or mostly video rendering, I think. So editing and rendering videos I can make with this separate card. Yeah, it's not so effective, but in fact it isn't even loaded 100% even when I'm rendering the projects with DaVinci Resolve. So for me it is best solution, and you can look at my table. I hope my video was helpful for you and you can decide something for yourself. Thank you very much for watching. Click like, subscribe, leave a comment please if I made a mistake somewhere in math, for example, and bye bye.